Okay. Thank you all for your presentations. I have some of mine, but I will start just for some that arrived at my email from the audience. One of the questions is about if we are going to share the presentations and the contacts of the speakers, and I think we will have that information at the end. Normally we publish that information at the CIDOC website, so have a look on it. You will receive some information from the CIDOC 2020 organization about that specific issues. I have two questions. One is for Peter Fornaro, and the question is from João Machado. And I will read the question, I guess it's better. Whose technology allows to access and align interaction of RTI images? Is it some kind of specific plugin, or exists some kind of common viewers like Sketchfab or for 3D objects? Another question is if you think and reached any conclusions about how to documentation metadata and archive of the RTI collection matrix images, because like photography surveys, obviously we are talking about heavy information. So Peter, do you want to reply to this one?
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, very good. I would like to respond to the first question. What we use is as standardized viewer as possible, and what we did is we integrated a small WebGL plugin. WebGL is a standard component which is HTML5 compliant and which is supported by most mobile devices, tablets, phones, as well as computer browsers. And this has the big advantage that we can make the RTI content visible actually in each and every already existing web project. Because we learned that for many museums, it is quite a challenge to integrate modern stuff because they are somehow bound to the technology which is sold by the vendors of software environments which they are using, and often they are not very flexible. And so with this approach, we have the chance to really offer something which can be used by all. And the second question, I'm not sure whether I got it right, about documentation, if I'm right, and metadata standards for RTI. I think that's quite a challenge. I see there that it needs further community building. We have seen that in certain areas like numismatic already exist quite comprehensive metadata schemas for describing those specific objects, even illumination attributes. But I believe it is absolutely necessary to work in work groups together to find new metadata standards and attributes which address exactly those points. Just one example, I mean, if you take RTI or 3D, you can make something visible in the original, which you can then annotate, but it actually requires for another person to have exactly the same viewing settings so that you can see specific subjects or features of the object which are described. And so it means it needs quite comprehensive scene meta information, which describe the camera position, light position, and all that. And this is required. It is not existing in a proper standard, I would say. And so there is quite a lot of work to do, but I think it's important. We are going clearly into a world of participation and interaction.
Oh, thank you, Peter. I guess I will send you the contacts from João and from the people that are asking questions so that you can keep in touch. We have also another question from Dina I'm sorry, I will not say the second name. Sorry for that. From the Judicious Museum from Switzerland, because it is difficult for me the pronunciation in German. Do you? The question is for Frank P. Bar. She's asking, do you also take pictures of flat objects like documents, passports, or textiles, or do you scan them, Frank?
Yeah, thank you for the question. No, we do only the photographing. We do only from for 3D objects. Sorry, my other glasses. Because we have recently this year we had acquired a large scanner, and so all flat objects go on this large scale high-end scanner. But before they have been photographed, yes.
Okay, thank you, Frank. I was following your presentation very enthusiastically because I remember myself of the times when I was working at the museum and we started to build some homemade studios for taking pictures. Back then we didn't have the money to do it like professionally, so we need to go like you did in trying to invent our little studios. I don't have let me just check here because I think I got all the questions from the floor. I don't know if I haven't if I have some of them at the junk, but I guess not, because yesterday someone told me that please check your junk because some of the messages enter there. But I have written here some questions, remarks, and one of them it's for Rob, and it is somehow a curiosity from my side in a system like you have built for the Flemish art collection. What happens when? Sorry, are you listening to me?
Yeah.
I guess so. So, what happens when one of your platform changes or one of your software needs to have a change? Do you have a maintenance or a plan for that kind of situation, or you build every single connection between them, predicting that kind of changes?
Yeah, the initial design for the platform was that every single component can be. Can you hear me?
No. Oh, sorry. It was mine.
Okay. So the initial design for our infrastructure was that every single component is interchangeable with any other component doing the same sort of task. So yeah, the principle is that you can replace for example, the data hub with any other metadata storage system, or the IIIF components with any other IIIF components without affecting any other part of the system. So yeah, if anything needs to be updated or changed, in practice, we should be able to just take that existing component out, put the new component in its place, and carry on without problems.
Okay. So it's quite easy to do it. You don't have to plan in advance. Not many things.
There may be some planning for specific mappings, for example, to specific formats. For example, the presentation platform requires Apache Solr documents. If you replace that in the future with a different system, then it's going to be a different format to map to. But yeah,
okay.
In theory, it's not too impossible.
Yeah. Rob, I have thank you very much. I have a question also for Kelly. And the question is about was reading other notes. It's about how to document the kind of work that you shared with us, and what are the difficulties to document and to capture metadata for an installation that it is an object, and we can capture the measurements and a lot of physical details about that object. But an installation is, as you said, also an idea, and document an idea, it's difficult. Do you agree? Kali, I'm sorry, Kali isn't with us. I guess not, sorry. So I will pass to another question that I have here. Sorry for that. One other question that I have is for Frank van Hogel, and it's about the specificity that you said that there are at Germany. You are having a lot of specific portals like graphic portal and the other three that you talked to us, that you and that spread of specific portals, it's quite it's they are, I guess they are using the same linked open data repository. So how it is possible to maintain a structure like that, and how that specific portals work within all the different areas of data that is that is available in Germany.
Okay, interesting question. Thank you for that. I think we have to recognize that we have different levels. We have of showing cultural heritage objects. For example, in Europeana and in these great portals, national or from the federal sides, we bring together information of different cultural heritage institutions. So we can harmonize the data down to special, to some common level, and then we have to stop. But if you preparing a portal for numismatics or even for prints, you can try to use the deepness of the documentation that you have in your systems, hopefully. And what I can see in the last years is a beginning of change in the work of documentation. Not even to create your own vocabularies of the museum. Also have a look what kind of vocabularies are usable for you as. Is, for example, is the German authority files usable, or is there a special vocabulary of the numismatic collections? And the second part, some special collections started to open their vocabularies. The numismatics are one good example, because this is a work together of the vocabulary of the numismatic collections of the whole world to publish their vocabulary. And now you can start to link the data with your vocabulary and enrich these portals. So you have many points of contact and build relations between the different collections, and so it could work. And the other point is the deepness of information that you can present for this special kind of object that you want to present for prints or for cultural heritage objects from the techniques area. They need another. If you want to specialize, for example, on the area of clocks collection, you you can have more deepness in the data, that you may be able to build references between the different collections in the museum.
Okay, thank you a lot, Frank, for your remarks. I have also a question that I guess it is related with the question that that João asked to Peter, and it's about the use of RTI images for conservation. Do you have a lot of questions or a lot of requests for using that kind of image to conservation purposes or restoration purposes?
Yes, absolutely. We are right now working in a larger project together with different museums, and there are advantages, as we were told. One is it is very much based on photography, so it's a process which can be more or less easily integrated in existing workflows in museums. And the other big advantage is it has really the visual quality of photography. And if you compare high resolution RTIs, for example, with 3D models from Sketchfab, it is completely different approach. One, the RTI approach is more trying to show specific small details, granularity of materials, fingerprint traces on archaeological objects, whereas a 3D model is more for the shape and of course for hidden parts, which the downside of an object. And in one of the next research projects, we clearly see that we have to focus in bringing those two together. So having 3D objects, but with very high quality textures, which are based on RTI to really allow both. So having shapes that you can rotate, but you can zoom in and you have fully high resolution photography quality.
Okay.
And the same is true for restoration. I mean, if there are different things we learned, one is the effort which has to be done for state or condition reports in art renting or lending to other museums is quite impressive. And if you can automate stuff like this and capture actually stuff which you don't even know that you will have to look for, it is quite an advantage, I think.
Thank you, Peter, for your answer. So we are a little bit late on our schedule. I would like to thank you all, Frank, Rob, Louisa, Peter, and everyone that was with us accompanying this session 11. I want to invite you to continue to follow our sessions at CIDOC, and thank you a lot to make my job easy here at session 11. So nice to meet you, and see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks a lot.